Hey guys, Wolvie here with a special presentation for the City of Final Fantasy Opera Amiel Global for the 3rd of August 2020. This will be the 30-month video, meaning that I do one of these videos once every 6 months, basically going over likes, dislikes, / areas of concern, suggestions for the game to improve on an overall note, as well as the final thoughts. The final thoughts could be like anything, good, bad, or whatever. So just know that, first and foremost, this is going to be my opinion only. Second, the only link I'm going to have in the description below, as it pertains to a couple of things here and there in the video, will be the Dissidia database website link. So that's going to be in the description below. Next is, with the next video, it is going to be the Tara Branford quick tips character spotlight, because I do feel that she does need a second rework really bad, and it's sad that on the JP it has yet to happen for her, and I would really love to have some love for Tara. I mean, I like using her, but I just don't want to have her constantly benched, if you know what I mean. So anyway, I will meet you all at the home screen. I am back, so, like I said, this is going to be likes, dislikes, / areas of concern, because I do treat that as one and the same. Suggestions for the game to improve on an overall note, and some final thoughts here and there. So, some of the stuff you'll be hearing here are kind of tied in together, because, some of it I like, but, I do have to be honest with certain aspects of it in all honesty, so that's that on that. So, like I said, the next video after this will be the Tara Branford character spotlight quick tips. It is a female character, so with that, September, I do have to look at my list and see who I can think of doing for the male character. So we do know that September is a male character. October, November, December are all to be determined. I will say, though, that Sarah Farron from Final Fantasy 13-2, she will be either the October or December slot. I do not know which one she will be in as of yet, so Sarah Farron is one of the only 3 confirmed for, after September, so that's that on that. So when it comes down to the likes for this game in particular over the last 6 months, I am pleasantly surprised that RNA, a highlight for Final Fantasy 15, is not only the second global first character for the global side of the game, but in addition to that, her event came back with the lock treatment, which I particularly enjoy, because it's like, you're not making people wait as long on the global end for her event to come back. And unlike Beatrix, RNA will have another return of the event, although like Beatrix, RNA will get, the full return, with all the difficulties and that sort of thing. So I do like what they did with RNA, the whole thing with there, and the aspect of, listening to the feedback from the community, all that. I really like that. And I love RNA, although it was a pain in the ass for me to get her kit. So another thing I particularly enjoyed was the permanent return of the Abyss. And, this is not the Abyss beta, this is Abyss Normalist. And I really like that they actually went out and had a permanent return on this, as they promised. And I like the fact that where it's like, when you complete like certain stratum, where it's like stratum 3 or stratum 6, it's like you're given the clear once you complete the Cosmos difficulty. I like that they did that, because hey, you don't have to worry about advancing further if you don't clear the chaos, I particularly enjoyed that. Now, the varying things that came early, I did like Noctis's EX Weapon getting realized earlier than planned. I like that, because it's like, hey, it kind of goes along with, the whole thing they were playing for Global to catch up with JP in that regard. And the fact that June and July was pretty much the rework period, where you got quite a few characters getting a rework, whether it be early or on schedule, in accordance to the JP timeline. I particularly like that. Now, with Kane from Final Fantasy IV, him becoming 2 for 2 for early reworks, I like that personally, because I'm a big Kane Highwood fan. I've played Final Fantasy IV, and I love him. I particularly enjoyed that, he got his second rework early. His EX realization came early. His alternate costume, which I have, came early. I just enjoyed that. Now, when it comes to reworks involving an animation rework to the EX ability, Rydia and Garnet was a real treat for the eyes. I particularly enjoyed seeing the animation for Rydia's rework, and not only her rework into her kit, but the EX animation rework. I love seeing Rydia's dragon coming along and kicking ass. Now with Garnet, granted it's more of a defensive move, but seeing Alexander with her, that's just really awesome. I just like that. Now, when it comes down to the ongoing pandemic, I will be completely honest here. I wasn't expecting the developers being able to fix some of the issues, despite, some areas being forced to work from home. But the fact that they were able to get into some of the issues, it's just that, they're using a no excuses sort of vibe. And I like that. Now, when it comes to the character enhancement boards, I'm glad this came along. I particularly loved it. That's all I'm going to say on that. Now, because that's just some of the dislikes, like I said, I do have some stuff that's intertwining with each other. And one of the things that was a bit of a concerning for me was, again, Kane's second rework coming early. Now, I don't feel it was as necessary as it was intended, because honestly, I was more than willing to wait a little bit longer for Kane's rework to come early. I'm not Kane's second rework to come, at its intended time. I was more than willing to wait for that, because it's nice to have the second rework come early, but I feel that it's Ardea's global debut. Kane, those two, it kind of had someone else kind of suffering, in my personal opinion. And the one thing that had me a little bit concerned was Kater for Final Fantasy Type 0. The fact that her EX, the banner where her EX debuted on, had less time to shine than everybody else. I do feel that Kater got the shaft on this one in bad. And with her rework, like I said, she is an honorable mention for the worst rework for me in the month of July, because they could have done something a little bit more. And this is even with the factor that she is a part of the Cursed Six. So, in speaking with reworks, they could have done something more. Quistis' rework could have been a lot more, both on JP and on Global. But that's just my personal thing here, so bear with me. But I do feel that Kater should have gotten more time to shine regarding her EX being available to pick up. Now, when it comes down to varying issues, is that for both the Android and the Apple devices, it's just there's just so many. It's just granted, I like the fact that they were all getting taken care of, but it's just some of them were just too frequent. It's just it kind of made me question, is this game even playable? That sort of thing. Now with that all out of the way, the pace, I am starting to get a little bit worried here, because it's granted, I know that they want Global to catch up with JP, but I do feel that on the Global side, they're using a pandemic to do it, and it's not a good idea in my opinion. In addition, if the day comes where Global does completely catch up with JP in every aspect, I do feel this will become a pay-to-play game more so than free-to-play, because Global will not have the foresight they once did. Now, one of the things I added here, and this is actually a major dislike, is the Facebook faction of the community around the KAIS event. RCLA KAIS, the month of June, parts of July. This is where the Facebook faction really started to anger me. And the reason why they really started to anger me around this time is because some of them I felt were pushing the meta down some people's throats, and that's not cool. And for them to do it the way they did on Facebook, it's just like, I cannot help but wonder if people have noted the toxicity there within the community. And that really needs to change. Now, another thing here that I put a note here is that there was only 1 month of the Summerfest for this year. There were 2 months back in last year. I mean, I was a little bit of a concerning because, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, is there a potential financial problem? We don't know. We may never know. But it could be a little concerning sense of, free stuff. So, it could be concerning. It could not be. I put this here just to be on the safe side completely. And the thing is with Kane's second rework coming early, like I said a little while ago, was it really necessary? Or was it really necessary to bring it along to where that's at Arena's event rerun with the lock treatment? Was that all really necessary? Because you're talking about Keter. She should have been given more time to shine. And then, like I said, the 9 to 10 days was not enough. Now we're going to go into the suggestions aspect here to improve the game on the overall notes. Now, the pace, I do feel this is where Global is going to have to start slowing things down. And the reason why I put this here is because I noticed on Twitter, more specifically the Cydia database Twitter page, is that it looks like JP might be running out of things to run. And with the lost chapters, Ren may have mentioned that, and this is the suggestion he provided, is that JP might have to start doing 1 lost chapter a month. And this is where I hope this will give the Global the wake-up call that's much needed. Because right now, in sense of the number of characters, Global is really starting to catch up. And again, it's not bad for Global to be caught up with JP, but not like this. And this will probably lose the foresight Global once had. Now, another thing I would like to see in the game, and I kind of repeat this because it's easy revenue the game is missing out on, is compatibility with Amazon devices. Now, I kind of put this here in a bit of an emphasis is because you're talking easy revenue that the game is missing out on, because if you don't have as many players, you're not going to have as many chances to earn additional revenue. And having a YouTube channel by itself where it's like you do the gameplay and the slides, you can film it on Twitch, you can also post it on YouTube, you just cannot do it at the same time. It is doable. So there is no excuse why DFFOO cannot have its own YouTube channel and not rely on the Square Enix YouTube channel. Because if Final Fantasy Brave the Exvius can have its own YouTube channel, so can Cydia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. There's no excuse on this one. That's easy revenue this game is missing. Now, when it comes to mods for Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch, this is going to be much needed because, again, you have some people who like to be an asshole. And part of my language. So, you have people on social media that want to be assholes. And the current lack of a mod is kind of hurting the community, in my personal opinion, because it's like, you want to make sure people are allowed to express their opinion as they see fit. And the fact that there's no mod to keep certain people in line, it's like, what's the point in having the social media handles if there are people who just don't want to express their opinions on certain things, knowing that it's not going to be in line with some of the other players, some of the rest of the player base. Now, when it comes down to the patches, from JP to Global, copying and pasting, I would say, something I would not recommend doing. And my suggestion here would be, copy and paste, but figure out the bugs before you implement the patch on Global. Because that way you don't have to worry about as many bugs down the line. You don't have to worry about so many people saying, hey, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. It's just like, you're just wasting time by doing just the copy and paste. Now, when it comes down to the technical side of things, meaning like the devices like Android and or iOS, I think the global developer side can really benefit from having better foresight here, meaning that we know about the Android operating server 10.0 that comes along with the One UI 2.0. We know that's coming. Not all Android devices have it installed yet. But having foresight and knowing that this is coming along would greatly benefit the developers, especially when in the future there should be the Android operating server 11.0 that should be coming along with the One UI 3.0. So having the foresight for the technical/technological things would help the community on an overall note and for the long term. Now, what are my final thoughts here? Now, when it comes down to certain factions of the community, we really have got to start changing. Meaning that, and I beg this for everybody, please do not shove meta down other people's throats. Because the last thing you want is for people to have nothing to do with you. And for me, it's just like, I don't talk to very people much anymore because of that. It's like, you shove something down my throat, there is going to be a 100% chance where I will want nothing to do with you. Because I want to play the game my way. And with the faction, the Facebook faction showing its ugly side around RCL and Kais, this is really, really bad. And again, we need to start changing things. Because if we keep things as they are right now, the player base will be growing even slower. May even drop. And having a mod on social media, say, hey, congratulations congrats on getting it. How many congrats on getting that? When you planning on doing anything, with a wink, something like that. Something to make people feel that they're wanted. Now, with the content itself, I do feel that Global is starting to lose foresight here. Now, like I said before, if Global does in fact lose the foresight here because they are completely caught up with JP, this could become a pay-to-play game as opposed to free-to-play because the lack of foresight in content. Now, speaking of foresight, the global developers actually have an excellent chance on their hands right now and look at the technological side of things. The 64-bit compliance, the Android operating server 10.0, One UI 2.0, alongside the future Android operating server 11.0, One UI 3.0. It's like, knowing that certain things are coming along at some point in the future, this gives global developers a golden opportunity to figure certain things out, so that way when certain things come along, they're not as surprised by it. Now, regarding the overall pace, now this could hurt or could help the global side of things in sense of how does global intend to do the pace? Do they want to keep things as they are right now with the pace? Or do they want to start slowing things down so that way people don't feel that there is much of a rush to actually, how do I want to say this? To actually try to complete these to make sure they can keep up with everything else. Now, the final thing here is that there are features coming along in global in the future. And again, this could determine certain things on a global side, whether the game still remains free-to-play friendly or truly becomes pay-to-play. It comes down to individual interpretation here, because for the simple reasons like knowing one's own RNG and luck. It's not the same as the next, and it's not with every single banner. But all in all, I think there are changes that need to come for the global side, both in certain factions of the community and with the developers, and I think the change is going to be needed, and it's got to start now. Because without practicing the foresight, being considerate, all that stuff, this game might not last. And if it does not last, it's because of not practicing the foresight, not having a mod around, not having additional devices to be compatible with the game. The easy things that can generate money. But you know what? I'm not part of the developer side of the team. But I just want to, provide my quote-unquote 2 cents on the matter. And I should be doing a 3-year anniversary for the game once it comes February or March of next year. But like I said, the next video to end this video, the next one will be the Tara Brantford character spotlight / quick tips. And I'm hoping to do this later on tonight, if not tomorrow. So with Wolvie here signing off, I will catch you all on the flip side.